Breaking news this hour, a ceasefire has been agreed between Israel and Hamas, ending an 11-day military operation in the Gaza Strip, at least for now. Israeli media says the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's security cabinet approved a unilateral ceasefire, while a Hamas official has also confirmed the mutual and simultaneous truce with Israel. It'll begin at 2 a.m. local time, which is around about 3 hours from now. That ceasefire follows heavy pressure from the US and the United Nations. Earlier today, the UN Secretary General had called for an immediate end to the Israel-Palestine conflict, appealing for all sides to put down their arms. At a UN General Assembly, Antonio Guterres addressed his shock at the deadly surge in violence, calling Gaza hell on earth for children.
The fighting must stop immediately. Even wars have rules. First and foremost, civilians must be protected. Indiscriminate attacks and attacks against civilians and civilian property are violations of the laws of war. If there is a hell on earth, it is the lives of children in Gaza today.
The UN accused Hamas and Israel of contributing to a humanitarian emergency. The latest figures reveal attacks in Gaza has claimed the lives of 230 Palestinians, including at least 65 children. At least 12 people have been killed by Hamas rockets into Israel, including 2 children. Thousands more have been injured, and more than 50,000 Palestinians have been forced to leave their homes. It's the 4th Israel-Hamas war in Gaza since 2008. The UN Secretary General has pledged a humanitarian appeal for funding.
When living in a war zone, the humblest of gifts can be the most treasured. The Nasser family enjoy the simplest of meals given by their neighbours. Like so many in Gaza, 11 days of conflict has left their home scarred, food scarce, and their children scared.
يعني بيصير معي إحباط وإيش هيك انعزال بس بضلني مقرمطة يعني في أمي في أبوي في أي واحد بلاقيه لما يعني يجي دبة قوية نخاف.
A race to help more tiny lives, even as medical and fuel supplies run low. The United Nations has been ready to bring in aid for days, but Israel is said to have blocked much of it because of the threat of rocket fire at the border. On Israel's side of Gaza's border, we have 10 seconds to run to shelter.
This is an Iron Dome shrapnel who intercepted right above this intersection. And the shrapnel, as you can see, hit about here.
The air defence system here has been put to the test since the conflict began.
From my experience, when they talk about ceasefire, it's time for them to start bombarding us near the border with mortars and rockets as far as they can, so they can, get the last casualties of the war and say they won.
For the Nasser family back in Gaza, the end of this horror can't come soon enough. Deborah Haynes, Sky News, on the Israel-Gaza border.